I'm San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. I am a Trinity University alum, and I want you to know about my passion for these two vibrant communities. My alma mater is now a nationally recognized liberal arts university, offering fully integrated arts, humanities, STEM, and professional programs. Grounded in the liberal arts, Trinity graduates students who think critically, act meaningfully, and contribute confidently throughout their careers. As for San Antonio, Trinity is an oasis in the heart of a city that serves as a cultural bridge to the Americas. We are a diverse community that values inclusion and welcomes intellectual curiosity and spirited debate. We're a city that challenges convention and welcomes new ideas. Great things are happening at Trinity University, in San Antonio, and through all our connections to our multicultural world. Join me in being part of this exciting moment.
an Arctic cold front on the way, there is no better way to heat up than with a top 15 basketball matchup. And that's what we have here inside Calgar Gym at Trinity University, with the University of Mary Hardin-Baylor in town to face the undefeated Trinity Tigers. I'm Brian Anselson, and we are ready to go in San Antonio. Ashlyn Milton at center court will lose the tip to the Crusaders, and Peyton Hicks has it for UMHB. First possession, UMHB. UMHB still with the ball, and they get another offensive rebound. Crusaders fighting for it. Trapped in the corner and taken away by Maggie Robbins.
30-second timeout.
And a 30-second timeout for Trinity here early on. Starting lineups for the Trinity Tigers, 9-0 on the year. Josie Napoli, Maggie Robbins, Addie Putnam, Claire Hale, and Ashlyn Milton. Meanwhile, for the visiting Crusaders, ranked 15th in the country, Ariana Roseborough, Peyton Hicks, J.C. Briscoe, Ashley Fox, and Uade Adelke. Emily Nelson will check in after this 30-second timeout. And it'll be Maggie Robbins taking it up the court. And it is hard to describe how well Maggie Robbins has been playing early on. We'll get you through some of the accolades she has already earned. As she gets it to Ashlyn Milton, and Milton buries the three to get things going. And the Tigers get right into their full court press. A foul going to be called on Claire Hale, with Roseborough in possession of the ball. It's been a couple of weeks since we've had the Tigers here at Calgar Gym, but if you've tuned in to Tiger Network before, you know to get used to this press. We'll have to see how the Crusaders are able to adjust. They get it to Adelke and get it past half court. Layup is going to be no good. Offensive rebound. Another shot put up. No good twice there for Fox. But UMHB really battling on the boards. Make it 4 offensive rebounds already for the Crusaders. And they will get a trip to the line. Foul going to be called on Claire Hale. That'll be her second early on, so something to keep an eye on for number 24. We've got Ariana Roseborough at the line. And she connects with her first free throw. The sophomore from Mansfield, Texas. Had quite the freshman year last year. Roseborough, the rookie of the year in the region. The player of the year for the ASC as a first-year freshman of the year. And she gets a couple for UMHB as Claire Hale heads to the bench. And what a sight for Tiger fans here. Maggie Shipley, number 44, checks in for the first time since the Tigers faced Howard Payne way back in November. November 18th to be exact. We are happy to see Maggie Shipley back in action. Here it is Maggie Robbins stepping through and getting the layup. Opponents going to be seeing Maggie in their nightmares and the press in their nightmares as a travel going to be called on Peyton Hicks. Ball will belong to Trinity. And Addie Putnam will check the ball into Maggie Robbins for Maggie Shipley. She was the leading scorer a year ago for the Tigers, but after 3 games this year, had to go out with a shoulder injury. You'll see that brace on her shoulder. But she has been working to get back, and she is here. And Nelson drains the three, a couple of three-pointers for the Tigers. And they are off and running, but the foul's going to be called again on the Tigers. Cam Hill on the sideline for Trinity. Mark Moorfield for UMHB. 2 very experienced coaches here with 2 teams ranked in the top 15. And both coaches expecting an exhilarating matchup. very familiar with one another. And an offensive foul going to be called on Mary Hardin-Baylor. That's going to go against Cameron Martinez, who just checked into the game, the sophomore from Dallas, Texas. Milton all alone here, going with Adele Key, going up against her, and will draw the foul. Trinity won't waste much time getting back and forth up the court. This is a Trinity offense that can put points up in a hurry, averaging nearly 91 points per game. That is fourth best in the nation, to go alongside their fourth ranking in both polls, the WBCA and D3 Hoops, putting the Tigers at number 4. And Ashlyn Milton hits her first free throw. Milton has led the way for the Tigers, averaging 14 points per game. Can't hit her second free throw, and the Crusaders trying to get it across. Robbins swiping at it. No contact called, and it'll belong to UMHB still. And taken away by Putnam. Here go the Tigers. Putnam had 5 steals in the Tigers' last game against St. Thomas. Robbins comes to it. Floater of a pass, bodies on the floor. And it is eventually taken away by Addie Self and the crew. Hicks now getting it across the timeline. Nice find, and rejected by Putnam. Tigers going the other way. Nelson gets it in the open court. She goes to the lane. Layup no good. Fighting for the board is Putnam, and a smart play by number 12 to knock it off of Fox and keep it with the Tigers. These two teams will not slow the pace down, so get used to this hectic pace. Robbins into Nelson, and it'll get away from her, but she'll be able to collect it and bring it back across half court. Double screen being set up. Nelson chooses to go towards Shipley, and then Shipley pops in the paint, and it is good. How beautiful it is to see Maggie Shipley back in the paint for the Tigers, where she so often is. And it adds just a whole nother element to this Tiger attack. Quickly the other way, the floater, no good for Baker. And Shipley trying to go left, draws a crowd. Milton wide open for 3, good. You can already see the holes that are opened up when Maggie Shipley is back. She kicks it out to Ashlyn Milton, and the Tigers are on a run. They are up 14-2 on UMHB, the 4th-ranked Tigers against the 15th-ranked Crusaders. An 11-0 run here as we get a look at the replay. Several replays here from the first few minutes of action. Maggie Shipley with a layup, and then the kick there to Ashlyn Milton. That was the last play you saw before the timeout. Two very talented teams that we have here in San Antonio. The Tigers 9-0. They started conference play with a couple of road wins in Louisiana and in Houston against Centenary and St. Thomas. Meanwhile, the Crusaders of Mary Hardin-Baylor come into the week 7-1. They're ranked 15th in the country, and they were 5-0 before falling to rival East Texas Baptist on December 10th. But a couple of wins in the conference over the weekend have put them at 7-1. Two teams that made it deep into the NCAA tournament a year ago. Crusaders going to the Sweet 16, Tigers going all the way to the Elite 8. And of course, two schools that are very familiar with one another in many sports. We'll see who has the upper hand this time. Ball gets away from UMHB, battle on the court. Jump ball eventually will be called as Roseboro just hanging on for dear life there.
Jump ball, white ball, Tigers ball.
Ball will belong to Trinity. Natalie Anderson has subbed in for Trinity. Nelson remains out there with the other starters. It'll be Putnam who gets the swing pass here. She's looking for Nelson, cutting through, off the glass, and good. So Emily Nelson driving here early, so used to seeing her behind the three-point line. But she can score in more ways than one. Here it is UMHB kicking it out. No good on the three, but the offensive rebound again. Before throwing the ball away, it was Self who had it. The freshman from Wichita Falls has been fighting down there. And now she'll head to the bench. Aja Holmes will come in for the Crew. Very big roster for UMHB. And they've got 17 freshmen. Just the one senior. Nelson utilizing two screens, trying to get it to Putnam, but Roseboro takes it away. Now it is Fox up the court. Open for three, and missing on that one is Kenna Gibson, who had herself quite the game just a couple days ago. Milton going up against Gibson. Now kicking it to Anderson. 15 on the shot clock as the Tigers reset. Robbins loses her dribble. Unable to find Anderson, and here comes UMHB the other way. Catalina Cortez able to find Gibson, and now will they slow it down? Yes, they will. Roseboro. Nice mid-range opportunity, but still no good. UMHB unable to connect. Since their first bucket, really struggling to find any points, and Maggie Robbins flings it up there. Can UMHB take advantage? 3-on-1 fast break, but Ashlyn Milton gets it, and UMHB cannot buy a bucket. Nelson open, calls for it, puts it up and in. 15-0 run over the last 4 minutes. And the Tigers pouncing all over Mary Hardin-Baylor in San Antonio. Ten-second call going the way of the Tigers, and the bench is pumped up. The energy in this gym is palpable as these teammates root for one another. UMHB, folks, has not scored from the field. They have 2 free throws and have nothing else. They have not scored a bucket. And if you needed an example of this smothering Trinity defense, you have it right here. This is a team that is 15th in the whole country, one of the best in the state as well in Trinity, just not letting them breathe whatsoever. As more of the second unit checks in here for the Tigers. Nelson still in there. She's been in there almost from the tip. Anderson trying to find help, gets to Annika Signs. Signs with the little floater after the contact, and the ball off of her will head to Mary Hardin-Baylor. But the Crusaders just looking for anything right now to slow this pace down and get a bit of momentum. Nelson tips it away. Anderson there for it. She has partners to work with. And it'll be a foul on Peyton Hicks, and she can't believe it. And many of these Crusaders have stunned looks on their faces. They just do not know what has hit them so far. As J.C. Briscoe checks back in, and Nelson grabs a big round of applause from her bench as she was called upon very early. Coming in for Josie Napoli, who is now back in there at the 3:20 mark. Trinity 18, Mary Hardin-Baylor 2. Napoli tosses it out to Signs, but it is robbed by Hicks. Hicks going one-on-one on Signs. Still nothing for the Crew. Elaine King collects it, and here comes number 10. Signs with some good moves to get it all the way up the court. And now she finds her fellow transfer, Napoli. Napoli driving right, stutter step, and good. What a move by Josie Napoli as the Tigers get to 20. Swing pass out to Adelke. She finds 2 Tigers in front of her. And now Hicks will try to set up the offense, but nothing has been panning out for the Crusaders. Adelke from deep, and finally UMHB gets a field goal. Nearly 8 minutes into the game, and the Crusaders get their first bucket from the floor. We'll see if that'll give them a little bit of momentum as the Tigers go the other way. Posting up there is Elaine King. A double team will lead to a foul. UMHB bench thinking that was solid defense. Lauren Baker, the junior from Grand Prairie, will come in to defend the inbound pass. Movement off the ball leads to a wide open Sky O'Rourke. That's how you draw it up. Tigers wanting a walk, instead a three-point attempt off the rim and out of bounds as Adelke can't chase it down. Josie Napoli calling the play, dealing with a little bit of pressure now. UMHB trying to mimic what Trinity does a little bit, but nothing like that full court press that Trinity puts forward. Napoli backing the defense down, loses it as she falls to the ground, but Anderson able to recover. A great move in the post, but she can't get the roll there. And UMHB headed the other direction. Lauren Baker circling around. It is Briscoe who drives to the paint, high off the glass, no good. But the board is there, and now a foul on Napoli. That'll be the 14th foul on Trinity. And Roseboro will check back in for UMHB. That is their go-to when they're looking for offense. But other than a couple of free throws, she's been quiet early on, trying to make something happen here, and she's rejected. A combo there of signs, and it looked like Napoli came in to swat it away. Adelke can't get it down. And Trinity will try to close out this quarter on the high note that they've been on. Signs from three. And the gifts just keep on coming for Trinity. Annika Signs with the three. And it is a 20-point lead for the maroon and white. Signs now playing defense in transition. But Baker gets the roll. And Napoli will slow it down just a bit as Roseboro plays defense on her. Just a couple seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock. And an offensive foul will give it right back to Mary Hardin-Baylor. So that was Natalie Anderson on the screen. With 20 seconds left, UMHB shooting 11% from the field, 2 for 18. Meanwhile, Trinity, a scorching hot 71%. Can they get one more bucket to close things out? Napoli finds Signs, puts up the mid-range. There's the rebound, and it'll wrap things up here in the first quarter. My, oh my, what a first quarter for the Trinity Tigers. 25-7 over the University of Mary Hardin-Baylor. Coach Cam Hill could not have planned a better start to this game. We'll take a quick break on Tiger Network, but you won't want to go anywhere for this top 15 battle. And welcome back to Tiger Network. A very quick break because there's just so much to talk about. Last time both the men's and women's basketball teams were here in Calgar Gym, it was still football season at Trinity. And so now we get to really set up basketball season and fully immerse ourselves with these teams and getting to be out at practice with this squad, learning more about them. It is not hard to see why they are so good. working over the Thanksgiving break, over this holiday break now. Most students are gone, but these teams are here. And asking Coach Cam Hill what he sees about this team, what he's been happiest with, he says they are patiently relentless. They are appropriately hard on one another, really confide in each other. And he just loves the collective attitude of the team. And how could you not love a 9-0 start to the year, ranked 4th in the entire country? Not many teams playing better than these Trinity Tigers. UMHB will try to reset after that quarter break, making just 2 buckets in the entire quarter. Roseboro out to Hicks. Can Hicks get it going? Won't be on that one. Milton collects the board, and Maggie Robbins will set up the offense. Milton pulls up for 3 and gets it to go. And Ashlyn Milton with a milestone there. Her 3rd three-pointer of the game puts her in 2nd place all time for Trinity women's basketball, passing Murphy Burns all time. She passed Julia Ackerman on the road trip for 3rd, and now she is all alone in 2nd place. What a shooter Ashlyn Milton is, and she can also rebound a little bit, as she does there off the miss, and gets it to Maggie Robbins. Claire Hale looking to post up, but the pass gets away from her a little bit. But Ashlyn Milton, now with her 179 threes on her career, asked her, what makes you such a good three-point shooter? And she said she truly thinks it's just her willingness to shoot no matter what. Named a few people that have been responsible for her confidence, said Cam Hill, the head coach, of course, Joe Shotland, the former assistant coach here at Trinity, and Cam Hill's dad, as Maggie Robbins draws the offensive foul here. But Ashlyn saying those 3 have been the biggest keys in helping her realize that it's okay to shoot even on an off night, and going as far as to say that she owes it to her teammates to shoot when she can. And boy, has she. Now 2nd most threes in Trinity history. And keep an eye out for that top spot, because she is not far behind from it. And it may just happen here on Tiger Network. Putnam with an excellent pass to Hale, but she can't quite finish there. Milton recovers defensively, and UMHB can't quite take advantage of the fast break. And there is Putnam for the takeaway. So what looked to be an opportunity for UMHB taken away very, very quickly. Nelson sets up for 3 and rattles out. Board collected there by Fox. Thought about the 3, did Briscoe. Instead, she kicks it out, and it is Briscoe with the 3. Excuse me. It was Gibson who kicked it out to Briscoe. Number 23 to number 24 there. And UMHB gets into double digits, 28-10 here, the lead for Trinity. Milton finds Putnam. Putnam pumps and floats it up and in. As Julia Ackerman would say, a floaty for Addie Putnam. And the lead back to 20 for the Tigers. Hicks cutting to the lane, and it's eventually taken away by Robbins. Nelson decides to pass it up, and now the defense is back. So Milton with 20 on the shot clock. Utilizing the Hale screen. Putnam cutting in mid-range. Floater and the board, and good now on the second chance. Addie Putnam. And Cam Hill calling Addie Putnam the best offensive rebounder he has ever seen. Saying she just knows exactly where to be at the right place at the right time, and you see it there, resulting in the second chance points. Tigers as a team, as Hicks sets up the 3, and way off there, Roseboro won't get the board. Tigers averaging over 20 offensive rebounds a game. That is 4th best in Division III. Asking Cam Hill about that, and he says on paper they don't have that big power player anymore, that just scoops up all the boards. Instead, they really work as a team to tip out the ball and use their speed. They are fast and nimble all across this roster, and they get to more boards than their opponent. Already 3 offensive rebounds today, but they haven't missed many shots, so there haven't been many opportunities. There is a missed shot for Nelson that the crew is able to handle. Catalina has to get it across, almost another 10-second call. Instead, she gets it back. Trying to go to Fox down low, and Hale will pick up her 3rd foul. So not what Claire Hale wanted to do there. It'll send Ashley Fox to the line. She is 0 for 7 from the field. But she'll try to get on the board. UMHB trying to get their first points in over 2 minutes, and they do. Comes courtesy of Ashley Fox, who is 3rd on the team in scoring. Averaging 7 a game, but no good on that second free throw, and Putnam collects it. And Maggie Shipley back in there. Gets it down to Putnam. Napoli had an opportunity for 3, instead loses it, and it'll be collected by Gibson. Gibson short on the 3. Rebound by Cortez. And you're seeing a couple of the UMHB freshmen here. And good on the 3 is another one of the freshmen, Caitlin Brooks, the freshman from Corpus Christi. Went to Veterans Memorial High School. Shipley had a good step there on the layup, couldn't get it to go. And now the jump ball will keep it with Trinity. And you could see a little frustrated by that miss, but have to believe she is just ecstatic to be back. As a timeout will be called on the floor. Under 5 minutes here in San Antonio. Trinity 32, UMHB 14. Tigers led by Cameron Hill. Talked about him already a couple times here today in his 11th season as head coach of the Tigers. And in his 11th season already has become the winningest head coach in Trinity women's basketball history. You get a great look at him there talking to his team. Now has a record of 230 and 47 and passed Becky Geyer with the win on December 2nd in Louisiana. And if you follow any Trinity accounts on social media, perhaps the women's basketball account, you may have seen him drenched in water in the locker room after that win. A celebration coordinated in part by assistant coach Kelly Simmons, who you can see there towards the right near the graphics on your screen. Kelly Simmons playing here for 4 years and now jumping right into an assistant role. But telling me there were a lot of hands in making that happen. Among those, former assistant coach Joe Shotland, Cam Hill's brother Chris, and assistant football coach Pat Radican, former assistant football coach Pat Radican, all telling Kelly, we have to make something happen, have to celebrate Coach Hill, and they sure made it happen. Out of the timeout, ball knocked off of Maggie Shipley, and the ball will go towards the Crusaders. But that record-breaking win for Cam Hill, saying it is so far and away from being a solo accomplishment. Thanks not only his players, but the staff, the administration here at Trinity, and just everyone at the school that allows this program to succeed. Now 11 years of Together Tigers and this women's basketball program, and surely many more wins to come. Cortez steps back from deep, a battle for the board down low. Fox comes out with it. It'll be a jump ball that stays with the purple and gold. Cortez, the one to send it in. Brooks off on the attempt, and Napoli sends it back for Trinity. 4 for 28 are the Crusaders. Just can't get anything to go. On the other end, Milton with her first miss from deep. She had been 3 for 3. So the Trinity offense cooling down a little bit, but the UMHB offense has not gotten going. Maybe that'll be the launching point. Fox with the layup. And they cut the deficit to 16 with under 4 minutes to go in San Antonio. Robbins driving left, scoops it up, and puts it down. And Maggie Robbins with 4 points early on, a couple of steals, a couple of assists. It'll be Fox, mid-range game, way over the basket, and the ball will belong to Trinity. In come Natalie Anderson and Sky O'Rourke for Addie Putnam and Ashlyn Milton. Uade Adelke in for the Crusaders. And Maggie Robbins, before she even has the ball, directing traffic, already winning 2 Conference Player of the Week awards, and those weren't quite enough because Robbins also earning the National Player of the Week award back at the end of November. She is just filling up the box score, has scored double digits in 5 consecutive games for the first time in her career, and really complementing this offense that is clicking. But here will be forced into a 24-second violation. A nice job by the Crusader defense to cause the turnover and get the ball back. Briscoe back in there for UMHB. She's knocked down a 3. She collects it at the timeline, trapped by 2 defenders, and ball will stay with UMHB. Nelson will check back in for Trinity. The changes keep on coming for both teams, trying to stay fresh and in the game. And UMHB just searching for answers right now. It'll be Briscoe here in the corner, trying to get it to Adelke. Adelke backing down Anderson, and Anderson will be tagged with the foul. Uade Adelke, the freshman from Cedar Park, Texas, coming off a 4-point and 4-rebound performance in the victory against Sul Ross just a couple days ago. She was named a player to watch in the American Southwest Conference. Gets her first free throw to go. Averaging right around 4.5 points per game. And she's above her average with that free throw, already 5 for number 55. And the Tigers now give it to Maggie Shipley, as you get a sense for how they like to use her just everywhere possible, including at the point position. Napoli finds Nelson in the corner. Tough pass, though, so Nelson resets it a little bit for Trinity. Napoli goes right, cuts back left. Shipley has it. And more good defense for UMHB. What will Shipley go to? Dribbling through it. And eventually gets the contact that she was pleading for. Foul on 55, Adelke. Shipley will get 2 free throws here. The senior from Arlington, Virginia, off a little bit on that first free throw, but you see that big brace on her shoulder. Injured it early on in the year after 3 games. So she has been out since November 18th. Unable to connect on both those free throws. But Elaine King fights for the board. Napoli from deep. Strong, but another board for Shipley, and Nelson is clapping for it in the corner. Shipley doesn't see her, though. And UMHB able to reset on defense. Nelson has the bigger Adelke on her, and Adelke will draw another foul. That'll beat number 3 on Uade Adelke. And we'll see if she is out for the half. She just might be. And she is, as Ashley Fox checks back in. Tigers getting all sorts of second and even third opportunities in this game so far. We'll see if they can capitalize on this trip. O'Rourke looking for help. Gets it to Shipley. Shipley taking her time. Starts left, then right, and will be called for the travel. So the defense really improving for UMHB in the second quarter. Despite the very slow start. Just 9 points for Trinity in the second quarter after 25 in the first frame. Keeping UMHB somewhat in this game could be a whole lot worse with how they have started shooting the ball. Under a minute to go in the half. King to O'Rourke. Bounces off of both of them, and it'll stay with Trinity. Officials looking for some help there on the baseline. We've been scoreless for the last nearly 3 minutes. Trinity not scoring in 2 minutes and 42 seconds. UMHB a full 3 minutes without putting points on the board. But Ashlyn Milton takes care of it for Trinity. 12 points already for the Tigers' leading scorer. Baker finds Roseboro, who kicks it out to Briscoe for 3, just off, and the rebound for Milton. But UMHB snaps it away. Baker looking for Fox, gets it to her. Hicks from the free throw line. That bounced everywhere but in, and a second opportunity does go. Good determination there for UMHB to finally get a bucket on that trip, and they'll steal the ball here. Could get one more shot. It'll be a buzzer beater. No good for UMHB. So the score at the half, 36 for Trinity and 20 for Mary Hardin-Baylor. As you look at some of the replays from the first half, remember this was a 25-9 game. Trinity getting out to a fast start in the first quarter, but UMHB cutting into that deficit a little bit and have some momentum to work with going into the half, playing a lot better defense, forcing some Trinity turnovers. In fact, Trinity there, you see it with one more turnover than UMHB. So if UMHB can just get going from the floor, this could be a whole lot closer. And it'll be fun to watch for sure. So don't go anywhere. We'll have it for you on Tiger Network after 14 and a half more minutes.
I'm San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. I am a Trinity University alum, and I want you to know about my passion for these two vibrant communities. My alma mater is now a nationally recognized liberal arts university, offering fully integrated arts, humanities, STEM, and professional programs. Grounded in the liberal arts, Trinity graduates students who think critically, act meaningfully, and contribute confidently throughout their careers. As for San Antonio, Trinity is an oasis in the heart of a city that serves as a cultural bridge to the Americas. We are a diverse community that values inclusion and welcomes intellectual curiosity and spirited debate. We're a city that challenges convention and welcomes new ideas. Great things are happening at Trinity University, in San Antonio, and through all our connections to our multicultural world. Join me in being part of this exciting moment.
Welcome back to Tiger Network for this top 15 battle between the University of Mary Hardin-Baylor Crusaders and the Trinity University Tigers. Once again, I'm Brian Yanselson, excited for what should be a great second half. And that first half saw a couple of big contrasts. That first quarter, Trinity exploding out of the box to jump out to a 25-7 lead. They were shooting the lights out of the gym, but then Mary Hardin-Baylor recovering a little bit in that second quarter, not cutting Trinity's lead a whole lot, but just slowing them down enough to prevent this game from really getting away from them. And so they certainly have a shot here. The Crusaders, with a record of 7-1, have shown to be a tough team to take down, and they consistently have been over the last few years, led by head coach Mark Moorfield in his 9th season here as head coach. Led the Crusaders to their first NCAA playoff appearance back in 2019, and since then they have gone back a couple more times, including a trip to the Sweet 16 last year. They ultimately fell to Transylvania by 5, but they had good victories over Webster and East Texas Baptist. On another corner of the bracket, of course, Trinity making it farther than they have in nearly 20 years, since back in 2003, that magical championship run at the start of the century. And Trinity using that as motivation, using that loss to Amherst as fuel to their fire. And they have certainly started the season on a roll as Addie Putnam drives left and will head to the free throw line. And really a big part of the story for Trinity is getting back the likes of Addie Putnam, because she, along with Claire Hale, missed the entire last season with torn ACLs. Putnam gets that first free throw to go, but you see those big knee braces. Putnam missing the entire season and then coming back with full force, scoring 26 points in her first game back. But really an amazing story. Putnam saying, I just wanted to make one more three again. And that's what brought her back. It's what kept her fighting through that injury, through that rehab. And she certainly hit way more than 1 3. Loose ball will stay with Mary Hardin-Baylor just 30 seconds into this half. Both Putnam and Hale in there with the rest of the starting unit. Milton will be called for the foul here on Adelke, who will take another trip to the line. She has been a bright spot for Mary Hardin-Baylor so far. They haven't put a whole lot of points on the board, but the majority of them have come from her. Her first free throw rolls in. Make it 6 points now for Adelke. Mentioned she was a player to watch in the conference while she was off to a great start a year ago, but then missed most of the season with an injury after just playing 8 games. And so Coach Moorfield very happy to have her back. And she's got 7 to lead the way for the Crew, trying to climb their way back into this one. Napoli along the baseline looking for help. Great defense by Hicks, and it leads to a takeaway by Briscoe. These Crusaders are great at stealing the ball away. That is 9 now for the Crew. They are near the top of Division III as they look to set up their offense. Briscoe with a nice spin, mid-range, just bounces out. Fight for the board is won by Napoli. But UMHB 18th in the country and steals, and there's another one. But immediately after, it'll be a travel on Adelke. Just couldn't quite keep her balance to prevent her feet from pivoting. But they average just under 15 steals a game. So these are 2 defenses that really enjoy taking the ball away from their opponent. And here we go again. Roseboro has it. What will the call be? It'll be a foul on Putnam there on the loose ball, so after Roseboro had taken it away. So very appropriate to be talking about all the steals for Mary Hardin-Baylor, because they have a couple already in this quarter. Roseboro doubled Has to get it across, gets it into the hands of Milton. Hale to Robbins. What a connection for 2. And Robbins gets right back into defense mode. Napoli and Hale double. Robbins robs it to Hale. Now the opposite connection, and Hale takes a tumble but will head to the line. Highlighting the takeaways for UMHB, so worth reminding you guys at home that the Tigers average 20 steals a game. So 1-upping or 6-upping the Crusaders, if you would say, on that stat. 4th in the nation in steals. And in terms of total turnovers forced, 32 a game caused by this Trinity defense. You just know that opponents try their hardest to keep the ball in possession, but it is hard to do against this relentless Trinity defense. Robbins gets it into Napoli. Shot clock gets to 15. Putnam scanning the floor. Napoli downtown. Short. Rebound will go to UMHB. Heads up play there by Caitlin Brooks to knock it off of Milton, who was on the ground. Trinity was 5 for 8 from downtown in the first half. Large part came from Ashlyn Milton, but that first one no good from Napoli. Gives UMHB the chance. Still an 18-point lead for the Tigers. And nearly another steal, but recovered. It'll be Gibson who steps in for the 3. Rebound fought for by Josie Bruder. Cortez is open, but hers rattles out as well. So the story continues to be the same. UMHB having a hard time getting the ball to go through the net. Milton fights for the layup, and Robbins takes it right back from her. Milton had missed the bucket. UMHB had the ball, but as she so often does, Robbins robs it away. The other way, UMHB 4-3 is Caitlin Brooks. Has several fans in the stands, the graduate of Veterans Memorial High School. Nice drop off for Hale, but it is rejected by Josie Bruder. And you can hear the cheers coming from the UMHB bench, really appreciating the increased effort defensively. Robbins will send it in, gets it to Milton, but Milton, after a touch, sees it go out of bounds. Trinity turned it over 17 times now. But Mary Hardin-Baylor still shooting just 18% from the floor. And right here, a little bit of confusion. And so Trinity will take a timeout. 42-25 the lead for Trinity as both teams head to their huddles. Coach Moorfield here at UMHB, coming off a long and successful career as an assistant coach at the Division I level. Was an assistant coach up at Baylor University in Waco, very close to Belton, under Scott Drew, the head coach for the Baylor Bears. And even before that, Mark Moorfield, an assistant for his alma mater, Valparaiso. Has extensive history at the Division I level and told me that what drew him to the Division III level was just that balance of academics and athletics, and you hear it so often. But it remains true in the opinion of Moorfield as we start to head back from this timeout, but the confusion continues. Trying to see what the decision is here. It looked like it was a turnover by Trinity off of the inbounds for Robbins. But the referees might have said that the touch was on UMHB because it looks like Robbins will send it in again. Official still halting action. And now we're ready to go. So not 100% sure what the confusion was, but Trinity has the ball. Robbins dribbling through the paint, gets it to Hale. Hale from deep, just off, but the board fought for and will get a jump ball for UMHB. But the fight was there for Maggie Robbins. Caitlin Brooks has the tough task of bringing it in against the press. Finally gets it to Gibson, and Gibson out to Cortez. 2-on-2 if UMHB can take advantage. They can't for the moment, and they still can't, but they'll keep the ball as it's knocked out of bounds off of Trinity. It can get quite deceptive because you might think, oh, well, the team beat the press. They got it across the half-court line, but that is just the beginning of the press. Trinity practicing it so often and knowing that they have to get back and continue their pressure even if the ball gets across the half-court line. But UMHB continues to do a good job of fighting for the offensive boards. They now have 15. And this time it led to 2 free throws for Caitlin Brooks, but that first one off. Offensive rebounds, another area that the Crusaders have done a great job on all year. 18 of them per game, which is top 20 in the country. Couple substitutions early in the third quarter. Maggie Shipley back in along with Emily Nelson. Nelson brings it up the court. A charging Milton changes course, gets it to Shipley. Now Shipley drives left, tries to get it to Putnam, but a nice steal by Gibson. Gibson all alone. And the hustle by Putnam and Nelson to get back defensively. And you see the high five between those two, applauding their effort. No easy buckets against this Trinity defense. Cortez to Gibson. Gibson has some space to work with, and she knocks it down. Great job by Kenna Gibson, the freshman from Houston, Texas, who had a coming out party against Sul Ross State, UMHB's last win. Gibson a career-high 15 points, and now a rejection by Bruder. UMHB feeling the energy here as the freshman showing up for the Crusaders. Bruder tries to keep it going with a 3, but it'll belong to Trinity. The most energy we've seen from the purple and gold tonight. Lead down to 14 for Trinity. Field goal percentage down to 50%. But the difference continues to be that low shooting mark for Mary Hardin-Baylor. Just 8 made buckets for 19%. You've got to imagine this Trinity offense will find it eventually. Once again, it is Shipley surveying her options. It ends up in a steal for Gibson. Gibson leading the fast break has Cortez, takes the floater. And a scramble down low, rebound by Putnam, and Putnam fouled on the way back. It's been a 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes for the Crusaders. Really a nice job by the second unit. You see them getting high fives on the bench as the starting crew back in there. Coach Moorfield saying he has been most happy with how his team has blended together, and they get a steal here. Peyton Hicks off of the inbounds. An open Fox 4-3 is good. And Mary Hardin-Baylor feeling the momentum. Robbins trying to stem it a little bit. Putnam out to Nelson. Right back to Putnam. Too strong on the mid-range, and Mary Hardin-Baylor trying to cut it to single digits for the first time since the first quarter. Roseboro fouled on the steal attempt. It'll be Milton who gets the foul. And a timeout on the floor as we reach the 4:45 mark. So Mary Hardin-Baylor showing signs of life here. A 9-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Cutting the lead to 11 for Trinity. We knew this was going to be a battle. Trinity ranked number 4, UMHB ranked number 15, according to D3Hoops.com. The last time these two teams went against each other was in November of last year. The Tigers going up to Belton and winning 74-61. Two conferences that are known to play non-conference matchups against one another, the American Southwest Conference and the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference. It's been a pretty perfect start for the Trinity Tigers, and they have not had an easy non-conference schedule either, going up against several of those ASC foes, including Hardin-Simmons twice. Hardin-Simmons picked to win the ASC. They came here to San Antonio and lost just a few days after losing to the Tigers up in Abilene. Trinity also taking care of Sul Ross State here at home. And now trying to defeat the team that was picked to finish second in the ASC in Mary Hardin-Baylor. A true Texas tussle. Hicks fighting to get it in. Fox underneath 3 Tiger defenders. It is Adelke who cuts it to 9 and gets right back defensively. And look at the crew going with the press. But on the inbound, a foul going to be called on Peyton Hicks, and you can sense things getting a little chippy here in San Antonio. It'll be team foul number 5 on Mary Hardin-Baylor. And so the Tigers will bring it across half court, and Robbins will get to shoot a pair. The run stands at 11-0 for UMHB. Robbins stops it for now, gets her 7th point of the evening. 7 points to go along with 2 assists and, of course, 4 steals. Can't forget the steals. In fact, Maggie Robbins in the Tigers' last game against St. Thomas, as that free throw rattles out. Maggie Robbins earning her first career double-double, but with 10 steals to be the pairing with points, something you just don't see ever. Going the other way after the missed opportunity for UMHB. Napoli trying to gain control, tiptoeing around the baseline, but it'll end up with Mary Hardin-Baylor. And so this pressure for UMHB causing trouble for Trinity. Will they be able to adjust? Fox has room to work, and she puts it down. Lead down to 8 for Trinity. And the large contingent of UMHB fans making noise in San Antonio. Napoli driving left, all alone in the paint. It is short. And it'll belong to Mary Hardin-Baylor. Almost too open there was Napoli. Couldn't believe how much room she had. The UMHB bench wanted an offensive foul called. Instead, they got a missed shot and the ball. And a foul called on Robbins. Whatever Coach Moorfield said in the locker room seems to be working. They are adjusting to the press. They are creeping closer, and they will get a trip to the line with 3:45 to go in the third quarter. Trinity 43, UMHB 35. This is the closest it has been since way back in the first quarter. First free throw from Briscoe is good. Mentioned those 17 freshmen to go along with 9 transfers for Mary Hardin-Baylor, and Coach Moorfield saying they have really meshed way faster than he could have ever expected. Believes they need to continue to improve in all facets of the game, but is very happy with the start that they have had. The second free throw is no good for Briscoe, but the lead down to 7 for Trinity. Can Milton get it going? Robbins now turns the corner. Milton open for 3, and no good. Rebound for Roseboro. And again, UMHB going the other way. Who will it be? Roseboro kicks it to Hicks. Thought about driving, instead waits patiently. Fox from deep now to Strong. Rebound for Adelke. It'll be Hicks from distance, and Hicks hits it. The lead is down to 4 for Trinity. All the way back are the Crusaders, really making it a game. Robbins down the lane, and finally a bucket for the Tigers to stop a 17-3 run over the last 4 minutes. A timeout called here by Mary Hardin-Baylor, but they are back in this. Remember, they went nearly the entire first quarter without scoring from the field, but they have battled back. And you see some of the highlights here during this timeout. It has been a flurry that you really can't hope for anything more. Two teams that are very familiar with one another, not just on the court, but throughout athletics. Of course, Mary Hardin-Baylor defeating Trinity in the football playoffs here in San Antonio, but then Mary Hardin-Baylor got defeated by North Central, who went on to win the championship, so congratulations to them. But if you're a Tiger fan at home who tunes into Tiger Network across platforms and across sports, you are incredibly knowledgeable about the Crusaders. And it seems like no matter the sport, it'll always be a battle between the Tigers and the Crew. Timeout coming to an end here. Officials sorting some things out at the scorers table, but the teams are ready to go. What's amazing here for UMHB is they have built this comeback without their leading scorer playing much of a part, if at all. Roseboro, who averages double digits just with 2 on the day, and those were free throws way back in the first quarter, but they continue to get it done despite number 5 not putting it in the bucket. It'll be another trip to the charity stripe for UMHB. Make it Peyton Hicks, the senior from Plano, Texas, the one and only senior on this roster. Too much on that first free throw. Hicks, the transfer from Garden City Community College, has 5 points today, along with 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals. Able to hit that second free throw and put UMHB at 40. They trail by 5, and now Hicks checks out of the game after the trip to the line. And Milton will bring it in, and we get to see more of that UMHB pressure. Nelson brings it across, calls for the screen from King. Nelson to Putnam. Tipped away from Roseboro, and a foul now on Roseboro. She thought Putnam pushed her, but a blocking foul goes against the Crew, and Putnam will take her trip to the line. And that'll be foul number 4 for Roseboro, so we will likely not see her for the foreseeable future, as the leading scorer for the Crew continues to struggle in San Antonio. First free throw off for Putnam. The senior from Scottsdale, Arizona, averaging just around 11 points per game. Connects on her second free throw, lead back up to 6. Fox at center court, gets it to Cortez. Adelke sets up mid-range, and making it look easy there is Adelke. Now into double digits. Milton the other way, misses the layup, tipped off of the Tigers. Trinity trying to play quickly, but leading to turnovers, now up to 20. Fox falls down, no foul called. Cortez driving through the lane. Nice job by King and Milton to play defense there, and Nelson saved it for the moment, but they're going to say she stepped out of bounds to give the ball back to the Crew. Bruder will check back in for UMHB, and Napoli comes back for Trinity. Bruder bringing some real energy off the bench the last time we saw her on the court. We'll see if she can continue to provide some good size for the Crusaders. Open in the corner. Not going to be good, but there is Bruder getting the offensive board, and UMHB will get another shot. Really utilizing her size down there. 6'1", battling with Milton. Gets it in the post. 3 Tigers on her, and it doesn't matter. Josie Bruder gets her first bucket of the game, but she has impacted this one in many more ways. Tigers scrambling offensively, not going down. Can Napoli calm things down? Now Milton, she drives and gets it to go, and 1 for Ashlyn Milton. A much needed bucket for number 30. Mary Hardin-Baylor outscoring Trinity by 12 in this period. A minute 13 to go in the third quarter. Milton trying to complete the three-point opportunity, and she cannot. Who will it go to? Trinity. So another possession coming up for the Tigers. It'll be Napoli on the baseline. Brings it into Putnam. 20 on the shot clock. The length of Bruder causing all sorts of issues. It is O'Rourke down low. O'Rourke is going to have it taken away. Here comes Gibson. Putnam trying to get up. Now Cortez dealing with Napoli. Trying to find room. It is Martinez at the top of the key. Now Cortez back with it. Foul going to be called as 8 seconds remained on the shot clock. Foul on Josie Napoli. And with UMHB in the bonus, they will shoot free throws here. It'll be Kenna Gibson coming off that career high against Saul Ross. First free throw rattles out for her. Just 1 for 8 today, but she has 4 steals and 3 rebounds. Second free throw, good. And with just over 30 seconds to go, the lead is 3 for the Trinity Tigers. Screen for Napoli. Taking it herself. Good cut by O'Rourke. Nice pass to Putnam, and Putnam will get 2 more free throws. So Sky O'Rourke there, the first year from Austin, Texas, finding Putnam, cutting to the basket. This will allow Annika Sines to come in for Milton. Putnam gets that first one to go. And both are good for Putnam, so she's up to 8 to go along with 7 rebounds. Tries to take it away from Cortez, but instead a timeout called here before the quarter comes to an end. Coach Moorfield wanting to take advantage of these final few seconds. This is a UMHB team that has gotten used to being on the road. starting their season with 6 consecutive road games, and asking Coach Moorfield about that, saying he doesn't think many coaches would choose to do that, but really happy with the results that he has seen, thinks it will pay dividends down the line to have started on the road and to start 5-1 in those 6 road games and winning 3 of those games by over 20 points. That very close loss to East Texas Baptist. But overall, very successful start for Coach Moorfield and the Crusaders, and they're looking to pull off quite the upset on the road in San Antonio against the 4th-ranked Trinity Tigers. Moorfield's team ready to go out of the break. Brooks sends it in, and it'll be Gibson trying to set up the offense. 10 on the clock now. Gibson continues to hang on to it, tries to get it to Cortez. Cortez carefully down the baseline. Now a 3 coming, way overshot, and just ahead of the buzzer was called out of bounds, but it will not matter because we are headed to the 4th quarter in San Antonio. Trinity 50, Mary Hardin-Baylor 45. We'll take a quick break here on Tiger Network, but you will not want to miss this. Nearly ready to start this 4th quarter in San Antonio. Trinity up 5, and both coaches done talking to their squads. Ashlyn Milton leading the way for Trinity with 14 points. Uade Adelke leading with 11 for UMHB. And something that definitely stands out, if you take a look at the box score, 55 shots put up for the Crusaders to just 41 for the Tigers. And the press that the Tigers employ, one of the things Coach Hill tells me it is for is to get more offensive possessions in the opponent, meaning they can then have, let's say, 10 or 20 more shots than the other team, meaning they won't have to shoot as good of a percentage as long as they hit their shots at a consistent rate. But today it is UMHB with significantly more shots than Trinity, and it's allowed them to creep back into this game, cut the deficit to 5. And we'll see what they have in store for the 4th quarter. Gibson thought about the 3, drops it off to Cortez instead, and Cortez with a nice drive to her left to start things off for the Crew in the 4th quarter. Putnam looking around as she takes the ball up and gets it into the point guard's hands. Maggie Robbins calling for the double screen. Robbins picks up her dribble over to Napoli now. Putnam driving left, driving all the way, and count it. Addie Putnam taking over as of late. This will be her 3rd trip to the free throw line in just the last few minutes, and she is looking to join Ashlyn Milton in the team lead. 4 points, she is now up to 11. Free throw is not good, however, so the lead at 5. Ball tipped up, taken away by Robbins, and here come the Tigers. Bullet pass to Milton off the glass, and good. What an assist for Robbins there. And let's see if Trinity can continue to build. But a foul going to be called. Looked like it was Milton coming in from behind. And it was a push on number 30. Let's look at this pass by Robbins. One hand is all it took to put some real speed on it. Roseboro back in the game for UMHB. Fox driving to the right. Did a nice job to avoid an offensive foul, but couldn't finish. But UMHB, another shot here. Fox to Briscoe. Nice mid-range look for her, goes down. Full court pass to Hale. Hale collects it, takes her time, but it's stripped away from Adelke by Adelke. But Trinity will hang on to it. Applause from the Trinity bench. We certainly won't ever accuse them of a lack of energy. That'll be 5 fouls as well for Roseboro. Thought that might have been just an out-of-bounds call, but they did end up giving her her 5th. So a real tough break for UMHB, who will be without their leading scorer the rest of the way. Adelke again from her favorite spot, and she gets it to go. Getting a taste of why she was a player to watch. Uade Adelke putting on a clinic from mid-range. And the lead back down to 3. Robbins cutting in, floats it up. Can't get it to go, fights back. Adelke right to Hale. Robbins now gives it up herself, and Hicks has some open court ahead of her. Can she finish? No, she can't. Milton collects it, and the Tigers going the other way. Milton, will she spot up? She'll swing it to Napoli and now slow things down. Milton crisscrossing Adelke. Putnam has it. Claire Hale trying to post up. Great feed and finish for Claire Hale. She was fighting for position down low, and she got it. But an open lane for Fox on the other end. And put 2 more for UMHB. These two teams now really going back and forth. Knocked away. Hale spots up from 3. Just short. Robbins gets the board and gets the Tigers another shot. Milton to her left. Milton and 1. She has not made a 3-pointer since the start of the game, but the leading scorer for the Tigers can score in a plethora of fashions, and she is showing it here, up to 18. Make it 19 for Ashlyn Milton, the senior from Amarillo, Texas. Puts Trinity up 6 with 6:38 to go. Adelke, other end of the court, but same distance, this time no good, but Fox takes it away and puts it right back. So the offensive boards keep on coming. 21 now for the Crusaders. Putnam thought about it. Robbins directing traffic, calls for a screen. Now Milton steps away, and Robbins will draw the foul. Disbelief from the UMHB faithful. But the call will go against Adelke, and that's a key foul because that is 4 for Adelke, but she'll stay in the game. Robbins looking for a Tiger, gets it to Hale. Now Robbins right back in the corner. Gets it to Hale, and what a find. A 2-person game there off the inbounds between Robbins and Hale. Hicks puts up the 3. It'll be off the rim. Adelke gets the board. Hale wrestling with her and forces the jump ball. Belongs to Mary Hardin-Baylor. Mentioned it very early on. UMHB averaging 18 boards on the offensive side per game. That is 17th in the country, while they're up to 22. But they're unable to capitalize on this one as Napoli has it for Trinity. Nelson to Napoli. Lots of movement inside as Napoli waits patiently. Now Nelson has it. Hale up against Bruder. Nice behind the back dribble. Putnam, Napoli. Good! Josie Napoli connects from downtown, and she is fired up as a timeout is called on the floor. Big high five there, and a clap by Cam Hill as he gets the ball there on your screen before heading to the timeout. But it's gotten dangerous for these Trinity Tigers here in the fourth quarter. Crusaders getting as close as 3. But the offense finding its rhythm here on the last few possessions. 3 for their last 3 are the Tigers, and capped by that Josie Napoli 3. Josie Napoli, the transfer from Pacific Lutheran. And asking Cam Hill, how did that happen? How did someone who lead their team in scoring and was an all-conference honorable mention end up in the transfer portal? And all Coach Hill could say is, well, I was as shocked as anybody. Couldn't believe that she was there. But they did their due diligence, reached out. And Josie telling me she never expected to leave that far from home. She is from Beaverton, Oregon. And so she says she can't quite believe that she's 40 hours from her hometown, but she found her right fit. Said she loved the school, loved the campus, and more importantly, loved this team. Has felt right at home, and the quote that she gave me, and I just love how she framed it. She says, I'm a winner, I want to win, and this team also wants to win. And that is why she has felt right at home in maroon and white. And Trinity certainly happy to have Josie Napoli on the team. UMHB has fought relentlessly since that first quarter barrage. But can they hold on and keep climbing back? It'll be a Cortez triple that is no good. Hale fights for the board and collects it. So Trinity a chance to put themselves back up double digits as the clock winds under 5 minutes to go. Nelson in the corner. What a pass to Hale, and an even better finish for Claire Hale. She has done an excellent job rolling off of these screens, and her teammates continue to find her. Now 8 points for the San Antonio native, and the lead is 11. The 3 from Fox rattles out. Briscoe with the board, but it'll be collected. Nearly a turnover for UMHB. Cortez able to track it down. Hicks spinning out to Fox, and Fox gets it to go. Foot on the line though, so it's a 2. Lead is 9 for Trinity with 4 minutes left. Tigers taking their time. Putnam calls 2 for a screen, utilizes it from Hale. Nelson comes in from the corner, ball knocked away, and Cortez has it. Fox trying to post up. She does. Gets her own miss, and now kicks it to Cortez all alone from distance. No good. UMHB struggling from beyond the three-point line, just 6 for 22. And a foul here going to be called on Catalina Cortez. Trinity 4 for their last 4. And with 3:19 to go, it'll take a big-time effort for UMHB. And in order to do that, they go to their leading scorer on the night, Uade Adelke, back in there with 4 fouls, so she took a little bit of a breather. But Trinity will now shoot the remainder of the game. They're in the bonus with 5 fouls going against UMHB. And Napoli hits the first one. If you were tuning in for the very start of the game, you might have noticed Josie Napoli limped off the court a little bit. Explained why Nelson came in so quickly. But she got it looked at Looks like she might have gotten it taped up. And she is back with 6 points. And now 7 after that second free throw. A foul going against Trinity, and several players trying to display what they were trying to do defensively, thinking that it shouldn't have been a foul. But it'll lead to the side out for Mary Hardin-Baylor. Gibson spots up from downtown and gets it to go. Three-pointer for Kenna Gibson. Putnam really slowing things down, trying to milk the clock for Trinity. Now more pressure on the ball, so Putnam drives right past Gibson. Can't quite finish. And now UMHB going the other way. Robbins and Putnam slow to get up. Hicks will draw the foul. It was a stellar move by Putnam to get past the defense of Gibson, but it was a tough chance, and she couldn't put it down. UMHB doing a great job getting back quickly and earning these 2 free throws. Hicks now with 7 points after that free throw. Two teams that don't have to face one another, not in the same conference, but both coaches saying they love playing tough non-conference schedules, really preparing them for the end of the year. As Hicks misses that second free throw, but collected by the Crew before it is thrown away. A real test for both squads before they enter deeply into conference territory. And it's been a battle down to the final 2:25 that we have left in CalGuard Gym. Tigers up 7. And they have the ball. Napoli dribbling away. But a moving screen going to be called on Claire Hale. So a tough break for Trinity. Claire Hale will check out now with her 5th personal foul. Receives high fives from her bench and Coach Hill. Nelson will check in for her. But Claire Hale did an excellent job. She had a couple of those fouls very early, but she played through them and ended up with 8 points, many of which came in key situations here in the 4th quarter. Gibson short on the 3, and it ends up out of bounds. Trinity basketball. Some air ball chants coming from the few students that remain on campus. Of course, the break has started at Trinity, but a really nice crowd on hand to start what's going to be a week full of exciting basketball. As Emily Nelson dribbles it, gives it to Napoli with under 2 to go. Trinity holding on to this 7-point lead. Will UMHB start to foul soon? Not yet. Milton in the paint. Bodies on the floor, and it's Hicks who ends up with it. Gibson trying to go quickly. And a travel going to be called. Too many steps with the basketball. Trying to hurry it up, and it did not work out for the Crew. They have gone cold at the wrong time if you're a Crew fan. Over the last 3 minutes, no field goals. And Trinity just trying to work the clock. Now 1:30, Robbins with the ball. Robbins to Milton. Milton can't finish, but Putnam is there. Putnam with her 9th rebound to go along with 11 points. Now Napoli fouled from behind with 8 left on the shot clock. And if Trinity can hit their free throws, they could be on their way to their 10th win of the year. Gibson heads to the sideline. Caitlin Brooks in, and Napoli will try to connect from the line. Good on the first. 8 points now for the transfer. One of 4 Tigers averaging double digits, and she gets her 9th point. So all sorts of contributions tonight for Trinity, and the lead is up to 9 with just over a minute to go. Fox driving left, stripped by Milton. It'll stay with UMHB, but those active hands throughout for Trinity. They have forced 21 Crusader turnovers, and despite turning the ball over 26 times themselves, they have been able to play solid defense to force a 30% field goal percentage for Mary Hardin-Baylor. Fox will try it from distance. Can't get it to go. Robbins with the board. Napoli gets it across, and the Tigers are looking good. Napoli doubled. Down to Milton. Milton finishes it. 2 more for her. And this one looking to be firmly in control for the Tigers. 21 points now for Ashlyn Milton. Brooks puts up the 3, won't get it. Fox gets the board. Floater coming from Hicks, too strong on it. And just one fingertip on it for Putnam. Thought she had it, but it'll stay with UMHB. But with 26 seconds to go, Trinity looking to put away this 11-point win. Way off on the 3. Putnam continues to fight for the boards. Cortez, no good. Let's make it another rebound for Putnam. Finally, thought it would be a bucket. Everything but down for UMHB. About 4 opportunities here on this end, and they'll get a trip to the line. But let's give it up for Addie Putnam on the boards. She has officially entered chicken parm territory. She has 11 points and 11 rebounds. That's a double-double for Addie Putnam. After Maggie Robbins had a double-double last game against St. Thomas, I think it might be time for some chicken parm. As Napoli brings it into Nelson. Long pass down to Putnam, and it is quite fitting that Robbins and Putnam will finish it off. Robbins for good measure with the layup, and it'll be a Trinity Tigers victory. 72-63. Make it 74 with that last bucket. That did count. And a statement victory for the Trinity Tigers against their rival Mary Hardin-Baylor. Inside Calgar Gym, it was a fast start for Trinity. They scored 25 points before you could even catch your breath. Mary Hardin-Baylor recovered well, though. They stepped up their defensive game, held Trinity down enough to climb to within 3, but they could never get over the hump. Trinity ends up winning by double digits, and you see those stats on your screen. A very close game throughout the middle. That halftime adjustment for Coach Moorfield really working in his favor, but it wasn't enough for the crew. So Trinity 10-0 on the season. The 4th-ranked team in the country remains perfect, and they will look to keep it going on Wednesday as they face Puget Sound. But before we wrap up, let's head down to the court. You can hear the PA. The winningest coach in Trinity women's basketball history, Cam Hill, now with 231 wins. He got the record-breaking win on the road, but athletic director Bob King honoring him here at home since the Tigers have been gone for nearly a month. So a nice honor for Cam Hill and a nice evening for the Tigers. They will be back here at Calgar Gym against Puget Sound on Wednesday. For Mary Hardin-Baylor, they will be back in action tomorrow against Puget Sound. That'll be another battle between ranked opponents, so we'll have it for you here on Tiger Network. It'll be a great one. That'll start at 6 p.m. tomorrow. We've also got great men's basketball action all week long here on Tiger Network. So if you've been missing basketball, you are at the right place. It's been a pleasure to bring you Trinity Women's Basketball tonight. I'm Brian Yanselson, and I will see you tomorrow.
I'm San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg. I am a Trinity University alum, and I want you to know about my passion for these two vibrant communities. My alma mater is now a nationally recognized liberal arts university, offering fully integrated arts, humanities, STEM, and professional programs. Grounded in the liberal arts, Trinity graduates students who think critically, act meaningfully, and contribute confidently throughout their careers. As for San Antonio, Trinity is an oasis in the heart of a city that serves as a cultural bridge to the Americas. We are a diverse community that values inclusion and welcomes intellectual curiosity and spirited debate. We're a city that challenges convention and welcomes new ideas. Great things are happening at Trinity University, in San Antonio, and through all our connections to our multicultural world. Join me in being part of this exciting moment.